Yeah, we updated the Kiwi Bird guide for set 7, which is post bail ban. I kind of had been working on it here and there, and had enough free time to sort of fully update it. Of course, I've got stuff going on, just personal life and busy in in my own life that I can't put 100% of my focus on Lorcana, sadly. But yeah, we managed to go through it and update it, and basically we're focusing on the matchups because, of course, I don't want it to just be a set 6 like repeat. We've got loads of different in the meta, but of course the list is very much similar. But that's the same as like a lot of decks. Like Ruby Amethyst had a lot of sets where it was pretty much the same list, but and the core game plan was the same, but your matchups were changing as other decks changed. So, of course, it's all a free update, and if you had the one before, you just get it now. It's just we've written over all the information because we probably don't need the pre-Hiram information anymore. So yeah, it's out there. I hope it's going to be useful for people during set champs and any other events as well. For me personally, the deck has performed very well. It's been back-to-back sets where the deck has been like the biggest rewarding deck, and I think maybe in TCG's like the biggest rewarding deck for me I've ever played. Of course, we got two content creator store champs. We managed to get this for a two-game format event. It got me an invite to Continentals, and just awesome deck in general. Of course, it's got a special place in my heart for me. No matter what the way the meta changes or what happens with Lorcana, it's always going to be in my heart for that reason. But yeah, besides the personal reasons, I think it's just generally a awesome deck. And rather than just making this video just a short announcement, like a couple minutes of me saying, hey, here's the deck. Here's a guide and it's been updated. I wanted to cover a few things. Of course, the Ravensburger event, we've now got the Ink Decks table up. And I think this is a really good resource, so we're going to go through that for a little bit. Um, and then at the end, I wanted to just like make a few points about like Lorcana's future and like nothing bad and of course nothing I can't talk about. But just sort of like, talk about maybe some things that might brighten people up. And there's just been a lot of negativity in the Twitter universe, the Discords, and I understand everyone's opinions. I understand everyone's frustrations, and yeah, I'm in no place to tell anyone how to feel. So if you feel if you feel that way completely, you're fine to voice your opinion on it. But yeah, I think I just wanted to mention some positives and things like that at the end of the video. Just because I think sometimes when we can get in a moment of what's making us upset about something, we can kind of skip over maybe the grander scheme of things or things that have happened in the past or, things that are likely to happen and just, how bright life can be and how amazing this game can be for everyone when it's working, basically. But firstly, yeah, I just wanted to jump into this index. I think it was Lorcana Justice who put this together because they had some issues in the Ink Deck guys had some issues in their country where there was power outages, which is horrible to hear. Um, so North Carolina Justice stepped up the challenge and managed to create it. And I think why I keep talking about it, but I don't go into depth on why I say this is a great resource. I think you can use this as pretty much a very big indicator of what you'd see at your store championships, especially in Europe, because pretty much that the turnout there was mainly German. Like, of course, it was Ravensburger, and like, it's an impossible city to get to. But I think overall in Europe, it kind of indicates what people are like playing. The only deck I'd say that is lacking from this list, there is one, or there's two in here, and there's one in top 16, was Purple Steel. It's kind of why I wanted the whole top 64, but it's filling out. He managed to get all the top 32 lists, or a good chunk of them. And then if you have top 64, you could go on and submit your deck list. But um, I think this is a good resource to show you like what you're expecting to see at store champs, and I think this Churner Dogs is a big choice for a lot of people. I think because it's you have some people who play other TCGs, and then when store champs comes around, they jump back and play this game very quickly. I've just see many of them like they don't make up an entire room, but there are lots that do that. So a deck like Churner Dogs that's like just won a 500 person event or however many it was, and it was not that they just picked it up, but the deck is an aggro deck. So most people's assumption of those decks is you can just pick it up and play it. I think to play aggro amazingly, especially in two-game format, you have to be a lot more skilled with the deck. But in store champs in two-game format, they might just think, oh, I need to go first so many times, and I need to triple daisy the bad matchups or whatever, and I should be able to win it. So I definitely think you're gonna see a lot of Churner Dogs. Like there's always been the Ruby, not sorry, the Amber Amethyst deck that's always been around during store champs because it's just this aggro deck. Like if you're going to a store champs with someone, maybe your partner or whatever, or your or your kids, and they don't particularly are that into the game or whatever, it's always give them amethyst aggro and see how they do. And they usually end up doing quite well, to be honest with you. So now that like we have this Chernodogs deck that's kind of like an actual archetype deck, it's built, it has a purpose, it does unique things, it does really cool things. Like it just makes total sense to play that deck competitively at events. So it's awesome to see that in there. Amber Steel is always like a stay hard, and like everyone's always gonna play that deck. That's gonna be everywhere. Like it's been there since set one. And Ruby Amethyst as well. Like I think the Shark build. I think the thing about the Sharks is like if you've got a Ruby Amethyst player who's been playing the bounce package like standard version for so long, and all of a sudden there's like these 4x Shark builds, and they don't own 4x Shark builds. I am pushed to say that most of them wouldn't go out and buy four sharks just to play the store champ seasons, just because of how expensive they really are. Some might, some will. I still expect to see that deck a lot because, you might just have players who have the play sets, they have the Maui Sharks for their Ruby Sapphire list, so they're just going to swap them over. But I think like standard bounce control, I expect to see a lot more of than I would the Shark builds, and I think maybe the Shark builds can be a bit more targeted. But that deck's still around. Discard decks as well. I haven't seen any green steel in here. I know a green steel player did get top 32, I think. I remember because I played him in Swiss and saw him make the top cut. So, all those decks, I'm going to say they're a bit more on the fringe pick, maybe, those decks are, but still, most likely going to be played. And you've always got to take into account as well, like in your local area, you'll have your like people who always play that list. Like there might be a Ruby Steel player who always plays Ruby Steel, or whatever, or always plays Sapphire Steel, and those lists are still going to be played. And I think that's my Sapphire Steel being in the top 64 kind of proves that point of you're still going to have that like diehard who's going to play what they always know because it's store champs. You just play what you know, and the events haven't felt as competitive as they have before. It's always nice to win and try your hardest and everything, but you can pretty much on the day take what you want and enjoy the experience of just playing a competitive Lorcana event. So I think, yeah, so far as this fills out more, it'll be a very good statement of like what's going to be played at store champs. And I think, yeah, Kiwi felt very strong. It's felt very strong at that event because, it didn't really matter what we were playing against. We were going to ward and aggro them out no matter what. So we always had that option. Whereas other decks, it's like if you play Steel Song and you play into like a room full of discard, it feels like you have brought the wrong deck to the event. Whereas Kiwi, it never really feels like that. Um, I think I wouldn't change much on this list besides maybe take those Baymaxes out. So yeah, I think this is going to be a great tool for you to predict that first weekend of store champs. I think after the first weekend, we tend to know what direction it's going. I remember in the last set we had a lot of people playing Diggy Hole in the end. That felt like the store champs deck to bring because it was fairly quick, fairly aggro. A lot of people didn't know how to play against it. It had a lot of control elements with its ability to sing songs, and it just could get you that store champs win that a lot of people just basically want to get a mat each time, so they'll just go and bring a deck like that. And then by the end of the store champs, people are having a bit more fun with it because people have figured out like they've won their mat or they've won their promo card or whatever, and then they're just going to bring whatever. But yeah, I think this is going to be a great tool for it. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that, and of course, guide is out for anyone who wants it or whatever. The updates are done, so if you'd already previously got it, again, thank you very much for the support, and thank you very much for everyone who subscribes to the charity tier. I think I set it up so you get 20% off. I'm not actually sure. I believe so. So 20% off guides if you buy the charity subscription tier thing. So yeah, just awesome. It's very grateful to see all the support on Metafy, and it just helps me to keep doing what I want to do and shows me that I've got a bit of support for it. So thank you very much. And finally, I just wanted to cover like here's a picture of me and some of the friends we've like made along the way that we got to meet in Germany. There's me and Ali, and there's Baker, and then there's a few other players like Primal and Justin in there. Um, Nomnix, and I think the other one is a TSR player. And sorry, I think I know the name, but I don't want to guess it wrong. And I just want to put it up because right now in Lorcana, like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things happening in the like Lorcana sphere, and like every time I check Twitter, it tends to be negative. It tends to be people complaining. And like I say, you're completely right to voice yourself and say your issues with the game. That's completely fair. But for anyone out there who's reading that and is just like, oh, I'm just getting quite down because this game I love, this Disney card game, it just seems to be this big negative situation. Just like when we went to the Germany event and I got to see all the faces we got to see, everyone that I've managed to become friends with, like and just I was tending to see it every regional and getting to catch up with them and hang out with them. It was nice to go to this event because we got a glimpse of what that used to be like again, and it was like, oh yeah, this was generally one of the reasons why I stick with Lorcana. It's so nice. I would love them to be offering us 3 to 4 European regionals every year, and then of course the American ones and the Oceanic ones. Um, if we can get back to that spot, I think this game's just an amazing situation. And with all the news that's been announced, like, yeah, it all sounds scary, it all sounds ever changing, but I think this community's just got a really good chance of being one of the best ones out there. Um, just if we kind of like stick together, keep showing our support, it's mad like here if someone announces like a winner box or whatever, and I've seen in America as well, like even things like Axion and the UK Games Expo. If someone announces one of these events, they sell out within minutes. And like the Southside Gaming events seem to sell out within minutes, and like the winner box gets put on here, and they double how much the attendance they expected to get. So the game is very much here. I think Ravensburg is very aware of all the love as well for the game. I'm hoping that all of the issues that like everyone basically keeps mentioning and complaining about on Twitter and Discord is stuff that they are aware of, and like the reasons why these issues are happening is out of their control, and they're working on making it in their control. But yeah, just to keep saying, like, I think the game's amazing. I think yes, at this point I can't say it looks like we're going to have a rough year two. We are having a rough year two, and that's it. But if you're in for the long haul, like I think the game's just going to end up being this amazing experience that you get to be part of, and we'll like graduate into a sort of a Pokemon style um, situation where we've had, just constant regional and different events, and the lifespan of the game is kept fresh and kept alive. And you can see it in all of the other card games that have been starting this year, starting recently around this time. Like One Piece had a bunch of these issues, and of course I think the ones that people are looking to jump at, of course, the Gundam game or the League of Legends game, and I can almost guarantee you they will have their own hiccups as well. So I would say definitely stick with this game until if the ship ever sinks. But I'm hoping it's not. I hope it keeps growing stronger. And we'll get into the spot where we can like kind of join those other games like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh, and be at that like top spot where we're just kept sustained, and like collectors want the cards and players want to play the game because the game's really fun and exciting to play, and there's always events for you to be a part of. So yeah, just wanted to say like it may look dark right now and like everyone's up in the arms and got their pitchforks out and oh no, Hiram got banned and I can't play Sapphire still. Hey, I'm making an entire YouTube channel, and like part of my whole deal is that I talk about Sapphire Steel and they hit that the hardest they possibly could, and I'm still around here enjoying the game and laughing about it. So yeah, just wanted to kind of put like a bit more of a positive note out there, rather than just being another one mentioning like issues and stuff like that, because of course I have my own personal opinions on them that I can voice at some point, but right now I just wanted to try and be a bit more positive. So, yep, guides out, positive notes, and check that Inkdex report for what you think is going to be week one of your store champs.